Review for Weird Science, 1985, by the great John Hughes. So this movie is such a fun movie. Forgot how good it was and how funny it is. Because when I was a kid, I used to watch. There was a TV show, the same name, and it had the same Oingo Boingo theme song, and I remember it being pretty good. But I watched that more than this. But yeah, just rewatched it, and man, it's just so good. It's like John Hughes was like just on fire back then. The guy was just so talented. It's just crazy. So he directed this, and wrote it. Yeah, written by John Hughes, and starring Anthony Michael Hall, of course, Ian Mitchell-Smith, Kelly LeBrock, Bill Paxton, Robert Downey Jr. Even Vernon Wells shows up as basically the character from The Road Warrior. So these two guys are like nerds in high school. They don't really have any friends except for themselves. And, they're very depressed because they are not popular with the ladies at all. And there's a scene in the beginning when they're in the gym and they're kind of just standing there. And then Robert Downey Jr. and his friend sneak up behind them, pull their pants down, embarrass them in front of all the girls. So, they're just totally like embarrassed. They're not popular. And but Ian Mitchell-Smith has a pretty powerful computer, and so they create a woman out of like magic, a very attractive Kelly LeBrock, and yeah, and then they create her, and I won't get into details, but this movie's definitely not politically correct for today's age. In many ways, I mean, I'd say, and but I think it's a fun movie. I think its heart's in the right place. It doesn't take itself seriously at all. It's I mean, it says weird science, but it's basically like a fantasy movie. She has like these superpowers. She can almost do anything. She follows the commands of them two. She helps them get popular with women. They go to the mall with her. In a great scene when they're like shopping and then they're sitting down. I think they're both kind of wearing like these white vests, and because she like also like makes it they dress better, get better clothes. But Robert Downey Jr. and his friend have these red Slurpees, and they pour it on them on the top, above them, and totally embarrass them again. So they're pretty much like their rivals. And Ian Mitchell-Smith and Anthony Michael Hall also like their girlfriends. So, but then after that, Ian Mitchell-Smith or Robert Downey Jr. and his friend, who's Robert Rusler, I think, see Kelly LeBrock. And then they start to follow her outside of the mall, and they're like talking to her, and trying to go out with her, And then Anthony Michael Hall pulls up in I think it's a Porsche that Kelly LeBrock has created. So, and then she's like, you know, yeah, I'm with them. They're my ride because they're both in the car. So they get in the car. They're like crazy impressed. And then she says, I think she says to them, we're going to have a party at Ian Michael Smith's house tonight. Bring everyone you know. Tell everyone. So they have this huge party at their house. The movie's just got a great feel, a great attitude. It just doesn't take itself seriously at all. It's hilarious. Bill Paxton plays Chet, his older brother, who's like back from I think college, and he pretty much just bullies him like crazy. Um, you know, I like it's too bad Bill Paxton passed away now for a while. He's always been one of my favorite actors. He's so good. I mean, he can play likable people. He can play unlikable, somewhere in between. I mean, you know, I mean, he's in this. He has a small role in Terminator. He's in Aliens, of course. I mean, he's hilarious in that. It's just too bad. I think he like died. He was having like back surgery and he had like a heart attack or something. It's just totally tragic. But yeah, so they're gonna have this big party, and you know, so many tons of people show up, and the movie's definitely it's like a fantasy movie, I'd say, because like everyone shows up at the exact same time. It's like totally ridiculous, and um, and then throughout the party, they're talking to the girlfriends of Robert Downey Jr. and Robert Rusler. I think it's Suzanne Snyder and Judy Arnson, and basically they kind of start to like them, and Robert Downey Jr. and Robert Rusler begin to kind of fall in love with Kelly LeBrock, and then they start talking to them, and they basically want them to create them a girl in their computer, and and they agree, and but they do it wrong. I guess I'm getting into spoilers now, but you know, I mean this movie's so iconic, so spoilers, and they do it wrong, and before they attach like to a doll electricity, they forget to do that. Instead, those are touching a magazine. There's a picture of a nuclear warhead, so it creates a nuclear warhead in the middle of the house. Things begin to go haywire because Kelly LeBrock walks in and gets angry at them for creating another you know, another woman, um because she's like, you're bragging, you know, because like I mean, they like bullied them, but you know, they, you know, want to be, you know, part of the cool kids. So this is done to like impress them, and she gets angry and basically like summons other people to come to the party, and basically people from like the Road Warrior come, and and the guy that kind of looks like he's like from the Terminator. The makeup on him not great. The guy that's like the Terminator guy, but they all crash the party of motorcycles, so people start to run away. The party's broken up, and yeah, the movie's just it's just such a fun movie. I call it like a lighthearted like romp, like, and it's I mean it's basically a fantasy movie. So, and you know, if you can get past some of the things that today wouldn't wouldn't fly or whatever, but I mean the movie doesn't take itself seriously at all. So, you know, I think overall the movie has a good heart. About these two, you know, lonely guys that are trying to be popular and just kind of have it's like well, it's like a couple nights out of fun. Um, so John Hughes apparently wrote the script in only 2 days, which is just crazy. And then in the song, Oingo Boingo song, it's just amazing. You know who Danny Elfman was apparently friends with John Hughes, and he contacted him. John Hughes. He said he needs a theme song for the movie, and then he wrote the song in like one night. Because he already like once he told them the title and kind of like what the movie was about, he went home, wrote the song that night. So just incredible, like the amount of talent involved in this. But the song is perfect. I mean that's one of the best theme songs I think I've ever heard for a movie. It's absolutely perfect. It just fits the whole tone of the movie, like the energy of the movie, which is like just incredible. So, you know, Danny Elfman, I mean, he's done great work in many movies, but but yeah, and apparently John Hughes was also he also shot I think The Breakfast Club that around the same time because that's 1985, so maybe they're shooting the movie in like 84. And so this is the trivia. John Hughes wasn't happy during filming of this movie because it interfered with another project he cared about much more and resulted in his working a punishing schedule for months. But he agreed to direct it because Universal gave him a deal where he could also direct the more valued project of his The Breakfast Club. Oh, Vernon Wells, Lord General, said that his first time visiting America was when he filmed this part for this movie. After filming Wrapped, he signed on to another villain in the movie Commando. Nice. That's another great movie. And his villain's just so ridiculous in that movie. And you think he's like wearing like chainmail, but apparently it wasn't chainmail, but it kind of looks like it, and it's I don't know, it's hilarious. I love that movie. Yeah, Kelly LeBrock's character was inspired by Apple Computer's first GUI computer, the Apple Lisa. That's what I thought because her name's Lisa. I was like, I bet that's named after Apple. Anthony Michael Hall passed on starring in National Lampoon's European Vacation to be in this film. As a result, neither Russ Griswold nor his sister Audrey were ever played by the same actors from the film to film until Dana Brown reprised her role in Christmas Vacation 2 Cousin Eddie's Island Adventure. I've never even seen that, but I hear it's terrible. Um, yeah, well, I say that this movie's way better than European Vacation. The first Vacation's a classic. That's a great movie. European Vacation is always like, I don't know. I think like half of that movie's pretty good, the other half's not so good. So that kind of seemed like they just did that to kind of put it out, you know, massive paycheck. So yeah, Anthony Michael Hall, you know, he was also like on fire back then, and then his career just kind of dried up. I mean, you know, he's in this. Is he in The Breakfast Club? That's a movie I haven't watched as much. So he's in let's see. National Lampoon's Vacation, 16 Candles, Breakfast Club, Weird Science. Edward Scissorhands, he was really? Okay. But yeah, by the early 90s, his career just kind of dried up. Um, but he definitely had a good run. And he has a pretty cool role in The Dark Knight as the reporter. So Christopher Nolan gave him some work, and then he's in Halloween Kills. Um, some people really don't like him in that movie, but I don't know. I think he's okay. I mean, you can complain about what he does, but he plays Tommy Doyle in that, and I think he's okay. I've heard complain he should have. Well, spoilers for Halloween Kills. Well, I won't get into it, but what happens to him, in the end. But I like throughout the movie, I think he's pretty good. But that's a movie I actually like. It's very flawed, but anyways, Anthony Michael Hall, yeah, an actor that his career just kind of dried up. I mean, he did tons of work, tons of TV movies and stuff, but now it seems like he's getting a little bit more work. So, but yeah, Weird Science, a movie that I forgot how good it was and how watchable it is, and it's just so well directed. Like John Hughes, man, the guy was just oozing talent back then. So, I mean, he also directed Planes, Trains, and Automobiles and wrote that, and the first Home Alone. He wrote and produced that. He didn't direct it, but but yeah, check it out. Rewatch it if it's been a while because I think it's very watchable, very fun, lighthearted movie that I'd say is a fantasy movie basically. But yeah, that's about it. Great movie, a lot of fun. Just don't take it too seriously. But um, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and see you next time.